Hello and welcome to A View from the Stands. Today I'm bringing you all the latest Aston Villa transfer news and the latest information. Before we get started, if you really are fed up of Jhon Duran, then make sure you smash the like on this video. And second of all, if you really want Jhon Duran to leave this football club and you want it to happen ASAP, then make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get him out the doors. But big up to everyone. We are going to be talking, of course, about the man who cannot stay out of the headlines, the man who has done a lot of talking. I don't really want to talk too much about what he's been saying and disrespecting Aston Villa with him and his agent. But what I am going to be focusing on is the deal with West Ham. Is it going to become a situation where Villa simply cannot get rid of Jhon Duran, the Colombian international? And are we going to be stuck with this rotten egg? And second of all, Karim Adeyemi has been linked to Aston Villa in terms of us monitoring his situation. And that word monitoring we'll talk about a little bit later on. But those are the two stories that we will be talking about today. Hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is well. And if you are watching on replay, then please feel free to drop a comment under this video, letting me know your thoughts on the situation. And if you're watching live right now, then feel free to interact within the stream. But without further ado, the Jhon Duran situation, we thought maybe a couple of weeks ago that Jhon Duran was going to Chelsea, especially when that Amari Kellyman deal sort of, was lingering in the sense of Ian Matson. But it becomes apparent that Chelsea have bombed off Jhon Duran. The speculation of him going there now is literally no more. So the next suitor is West Ham, another team that play in Claret, and of course, who Villa play on the opening game of the weekend. And this story really has evolved today, where it seemed a position that Villa could be making progress, to Villa actually rejecting a bid. Now, why is this deal interesting? Because it isn't just a money transaction, but it's plus a player as well. And this is what we need to be doing, making the most and shrewd business possible. And I do wonder if Villa are still after a potential piece of another player to come in, or if they just want straight up £40 million, happy days, on we go. So here is the story that broke this morning about 9 hours ago from none other than Mr. Fabrizio Romano himself. It said this: West Ham have offered 13 million plus one young player as part of the deal for Jhon Duran. Now, of course, the rumour mill starts opening. Who is this young player? And this was at quarter to midday today. And I was thinking, cool, would it be a Reece Oxford, someone like that of ilk who once upon a time played at West Ham? Is it going to be someone in their academy, or is it someone in their first team? But again, £30 million for a player like Jhon Duran, who, let's be honest, hasn't really proved himself at Premier League level yet. I thought, okay, we really are hardballing for this fee. So when you see £30 million plus a young player, I thought, okay, this is interesting. But this story then goes even further. I want to know everyone's thoughts first and foremost straight away. Do you think Villa, again, are going to play an absolute blinder here by trying to push the fee as high as we can? West Ham, I'm interested to see how hard they go on the negotiations. And what we haven't even heard yet is how West Ham have agreed personal terms with Jhon Duran. When you start to look at these sort of deals that come out, for example, the Chelsea one, when it was in the rumour mill, the initial thing was that Chelsea and Jhon Duran had agreed personal terms. Jhon Duran and Chelsea had agreed the contract. I just want to know what you guys think about actually, first of all, are West Ham going to play ball with Villa? Are we going to get the price we want? And second of all, will they then get where they need to be with Jhon Duran? But big up to everyone who's in the chat. And if you're watching on replay, we've got Vamos VJ in the house. Jason Powell is in the house. Debbie Hingley, big up to you. Kate as well. Rachel, June, my mum's in the house. Tom Jennings, Michael Dimmock, and Keita Villa till I die. Big up to everyone. As I said, the theme of this video is, if you don't like Jhon Duran, smash a like. And if you really want him out of this club, then make sure you subscribe and got the notification bell on. But look, at the end of the day, as Debbie's looking at, are we making profit on Jhon Duran? Well, straight of all, £30 million would be a profit, close to the profit what we would be looking at. However, this story then transformed a little bit further on. So we were like, okay, who's this young player? Who are we going to get linked to? What is the secret behind this? And then it was dropped by the Athletic. And the Athletic came in really early on this one, before Fabrizio Romano, may I add. And the Athletic said the young player is Lewis Orford. Okay, and I know some of you have mentioned it in the chat already, the young player was Lewis Orford. But yeah, just to confirm, the young prospect was Lewis Orford. So all of a sudden you're going, Josh, who is Lewis Orford? Should we be getting excited? Is he the next wonder kid? Is this a bargain? 30 million plus Lewis Orford? Well, let's just paint it this way. 30 million plus Lewis Orford doesn't meet the valuation that Aston Villa are looking for, which again, I believe they are standing firm. They want £40 million for Jhon Duran, and that is where they're going. Now, and as I said, this is a bit of a story. And if you haven't heard this story today, then this is the place to see what happens, because it then increased, as some of you, again, in the live chat have been talking about, the fact that it went from West Ham having proved their bid for Jhon Duran, 32 million, plus Lewis Orford, plus the sell-on clause. We love a clause. I've told you, we are going to become the buyback merchants / the sell-on clause merchants. We are rinsing those sell-ons. We are rinsing the buyback. And I'm just thinking to myself, okay, West Ham, you've now gone even further with a deal. You really want this player. And I'm screaming at it going, Villa, get rid of this player. We've got a club who are willing to throw a fair few bit of bob at us. He's willing to, throw another player at us and now add a sell-on clause. Villa, where are we going? And big up and foremost to Theo, who, round of applause to Theo. He has become an AVFTS member. Big up to Theo. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Theo, he's one of our own. Big up, welcome in. Hope you're well, Theo. Thank you for joining the AVFTS clan. Jason Powell said, we've got loads of prospects on Academy, and he was that good, West Ham would keep him, and I like it. I like what you're saying, because clearly that is under the thinking of Aston Villa, because, as I said, that was 4 hours ago, 32 million plus Lewis Orford, plus a sell-on clause, and then here it is. Here it is. The final now, which happened 2 hours ago. It said this. Aston Villa have rejected this offer. Fabrizio has confirmed, we're not interested in Lewis Orford or the money. We just want 40 million. And if there's any club out there, I'm begging you, chuck us 40 million. So I wonder, and this is where I'm at, I wonder if West Ham will come in for around now 35 is probably the next bid, 35 plus the sell-on clause. I just want to know what I would love us to do. Okay, this would be one of my favourite deals, and I don't know if you would agree. I would love Aston Villa to go, yeah, you can have him for 35 million, but he's not allowed to play against us this season. Oh, because I'm telling you now, chat, I will not be able to promise that my laptop screen, my camera, my TV, my microphone would survive if Jhon Duran scores against us and he celebrates on the opening game of the season. You guys will be with me as well. I don't know how we'd be able to keep our cool. I would not know how we'd be able to keep our cool if Jhon Duran scored against us on the opening day against West Ham and he celebrated. So that's the clause I'm putting in. West Ham United, you're very keen for Jhon Duran. Give us 35 million. We'll settle at 35. Still an absolute bargain, may I add. But he's not allowed to play against us. As Theo said, shades of Adebayomi scores running to the away end. You know it. You absolutely know it. You absolutely know it. And if you don't know the famous Adebayor celebration, go check it out, because it is one of the most embarrassing celebrations I've ever seen in my life. Literally runs full length of the pitch to go knee slide in front of the away end. Yeah, didn't go down well, did it? But big up to everyone who's in the chat. Keep smashing that like button. If you hate Jhon Duran, smash, smash, smash. Big up to Andy Brogan, says, oi, evening, Josh. Big up to Andy, one of our members. Big up to Paul Welford as well. Gary HSM, West Ham are absolutely desperate. We shouldn't push it. I know we've got to be careful, haven't we? We don't want to go too far with our valuations. I personally believe that 40 million is a little steep, and I want to know what you guys think as well. Do you think 40 million for a player like Jhon Duran, who clearly, by the way, doesn't exactly come with a reputation of, really hard working, really good character. He's sort of come in with a reputation of he's a bit of a knob. And his social media Should we have a look? Do you want to get even angrier tonight? Should we have a quick look at his social media? I might actually have to show you Jhon Duran's social media because it's actually one of the biggest disgraces. And I have to keep checking, by the way. I have to keep checking if it's a parody account. I actually have to keep checking if Jhon Duran's social media is a parody account. Let me see if I can actually find it. I don't even follow him. I think I unfollowed him, which is, of course, what I want to do. But look, West Ham fans are getting excited. Look, I mean, someone's just said Jhon Duran, Skamaka ball striking ability, but with better pace and movement, bring it. Like, they're getting excited. Personally, for me, it's you need to avoid. You actually need to avoid. I need to find Jhon Duran. I can't actually find it. Has he deactivated? Has he deactivated? Has he actually deactivated? I must have. One sec. But yeah, I will come to your comments. But yeah, Jhon Duran, I've got to find that comment. It absolutely boiled my blood. Here it is. Here it is. Look, I'll go to West Ham Extra. Look at this for a comment. This is what Jhon Duran said. The fact my name is being mentioned by such big teams, it is very important for my career. I'm happy that there are these rumours, and let's hope that something concrete happens. The biggest... I can't even. I mean, he's still a contracted Aston Villa player, and he's saying that. It's an absolute disgrace. But yeah, big up to Gracie. I did mix Wrexham Chelsea. That's because it was at 3 a.m. and I had work early this morning. It wasn't feasible. It wasn't possible. But yeah, big up to you. But yeah, PC is in the house. He says, I'll laugh if West Ham finally go, nope, we can't go no higher. And then we're stuck with Duran. And then Duran scores 20 goals for us this year. And then we're going, best business ever. Look, PC, you're living in a... When you see a quote like this, PC, the PC lockdown, when you see a quote like this, he said, I'm happy that there are these rumours and let's hope that something concrete happens. There could be no Villa fan out there who is happy for Jhon Duran to stay, surely. Carlos will bounce him out the ground, Josh, will get himself sent off, absolutely. AVFTS is saying he's a decent player. I'll be sad to see him go. Wow, interesting. I think you're in a definite minority there. Big up to Vamos VJ for the super chat. Vamos VJ, Vamos VJ, Vamos, Vamos. But yeah, that's West Ham Extra saying that. Steve Cox in the house. We've got a West Ham fan in the house. So hi, a West Ham fan here. Orford is England under 18 captain. Too many red flags. Time for us to back away from this. Now, interesting you mentioned about Lewis Orford because I did get a little bit of a profile of him up here. And so for those of you who just want to know about Lewis Orford, this is what I went. I thought it'd just be easier to go on the West Ham page here. So here is Lewis Orford. He is 182 centimeters, born in 2006, so 18 years old. Scary, scary, scary. But look, a lifelong West Ham United fan, Lewis Orford joins the Hammers at 5 years old and made his Premier League 2 debut for Mark Robson's under 21 side in March 2023. So only last year did he get into the Premier League 2 side. Orford was also involved in the first team senior squad, sitting on the bench during a 3-0 victory away to someone in the Conference League. After an impressive start to the campaign, Orford signed professional terms with the club ahead of the 23-24. So look, basically, hasn't broken into the first team. He's been in and around the squad, should we say. But really, we're not looking at signing a player who has already broken into a Premier League squad. He's been there amongst it. It's quite interesting, and big up to Steve, who said that, look, he's a West Ham fan. He's the England under 18 captain. Absolutely. But I would have to say, we as a football club, Aston Villa, have our own academy set up where we have been producing some really talented youngsters and selling on for profit. Unless the idea is to get Lewis Orford in and then make a shed ton of money off him in a couple of years' time, then let's do it. But he's not going to be in the first team. He's not really going to be pushing. So unless Aston Villa have calculated that they need 40 million because they're going to drop it on someone and they've got a name in mind, and that's why they need the 40 million, they've done all the maths in the books and all the accounts, then that's what we're going to push for. But I will be honest, I don't think we're going to find a suitor coming for 40 million from Jhon Duran because of the end part of what Steve Cox says here. Neutral fans, rival fans, they're all starting to see that Jhon Duran is a red flag. Too many red flags, and I've got to agree on that one. But yeah, interesting. Jason Powell said, I'd rather Duran stays. He shows promise we need strikers next season. Look, Michelle says, don't hate Duran. He's 20. This is really interesting. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm not going to lie, and I would love to know people's views still in the chat right now, or if you're watching on replay. Well, I've still got people saying, and again, I love your opinions, and I respect them. I'm just trying to, see where your viewpoint is. We've still got people saying they would keep Duran. Now, from a footballing perspective, let's talk just purely what he would do on the pitch. Keeping Jhon Duran is a good idea because of what he could bring with goals, because he is a young player with a high ceiling, hopefully. And of course, he's a bit of an enigma. And when he has played, he's done well. That's just football. But I'm going to look bigger. I'm going to believe that Aston Villa, if they sell Jhon Duran, could sign a striker like that. Number two, I'm going to believe Aston Villa have a plan, and whether it's an academy player or whether it's a Louis Barry or Cameron Archer who may break through. I'm not saying that one can happen, but there's something maybe in the shadows there. But number three, the biggest sticking point for me is, how can we want a player to stay who has disrespected this badge? No player is bigger than this badge, although we've got a new badge now. But no player is bigger than this club. No player is bigger than this badge. The fact that he's belittling us, the fact that he's saying, I love the rumours, hopefully something comes to fruition. There is no world where Jhon Duran stays anymore. He cannot stay. You cannot ask someone to come back into your squad and say, happy days, let's go. It would be like, if I'm honest, imagine if Jack Grealish, when he went to Man City, started absolutely slagging Aston Villa off, slagging us off, really bad comments. And then a couple of years later, he's like, oh, can I come back? Do you know what I mean? Why was Ashley Young allowed to come back to Aston Villa? Because he never made a bad remark. He went and left Aston Villa with class, and he came back with class. And I think that Duran, come on, guys. But, and I'll go back to it where Michelle, with Jason, where AVFC has said, listen, I want to see Duran stay, or, he's only 20 years old. He shows promise. I get that from purely a football IQ perspective. However, the game is more than just about what you do on the pitch. The game's about balance and harmony in the dressing room. And Manchester United have been a prime example of that for many years, of where the harmony hasn't been right behind the scenes. And for me, we can't keep that. Tom Stevenson said, Duran's a prop, 30 million is enough for me. Duran is a nutter and his agent is deluded. Gracie is very split here. Theo said 40 million is ridiculous good business from the Villa perspective. We get him gone. I'm looking forward to seeing the back of him saying, look, someone actually said to me, we've got to stop talking about Duran. We've got to stop giving him the limelight. Again, brilliant comment. Brilliant comment, whoever said that to me. You can't not talk about him because he's really central to a piece of business for us this season. And what I mean by that is 40 million is a good sum of money for him. Second of all, if we sell Duran, I am 85-90% sure we're going to get another striker in. Now, aren't you guys excited about the prospect of a new striker coming in? Now, whether this new striker is a João Felix and we somehow reignite that deal, or if it's someone absolutely unheard of, then we'll have to wait and see. But that's where I'm at with that one. AFC said, can't be angry about him wanting to leave. He's young. I do think he's good enough to get first-team Prem football. Look, I want to quickly address this comment because, again, 100% agree that he's young, he wants to play. My qualms with it, AVFC, is that he has shown his immaturity in going vocal to try and force a move. That's my qualms with it. That's my problem with Duran. I think he's gone about it in a terrible way. Whereas, let's talk about Moussa Diaby. Moussa Diaby, yeah, he went to Saudi, but he didn't leave vocally. He didn't really push the move, did he? He's sort of gone there. Another player for me that, you could look back in the Villa shirt over there, Danny Ings, didn't really get his minutes, didn't really get his chance, went out the back door quietly. But yeah, he would never be welcomed at Villa Park anymore. But there we go. The toxicity has to go, absolutely. Exactly this. Gracie said doesn't know when to shut up. And yeah, exactly that. Again, he's a good player. There's nothing I'm going to criticise about him on the pitch. A lot of people keep saying it's his agent, though, Josh. It's his agent. At the end of the day, agents are a big problem in football. Look at Carney Chuckwamakers. It's a weird one. It really is a weird one. But thank you, everyone, for all your comments on Jhon Duran. We're going to go on to the second story in a minute. And as Vamos VJ said, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're sharing the stream and liking the video as well. But yeah, we're all good. Orford won't play for us either, I agree. But we will definitely get another striker in if we sell him 100%. And Andy Bro, good evening to Julia as well. Good evening. Another G&T, please. Love it. Get them flowing down, and hope you're enjoying your time off as well, Julia. Can't stand Duran. Get him out of our club. Again, gave us an insight once in the post-match interview. Get out. That was the moment I took notice. I'll be honest, Andy, and everyone else in the chat. The moment I took notice was when Duran obviously did his business on the pitch, and John McGinn brought him straight back down to earth. John McGinn was a bit like, listen, that interview, if you've not seen it, I've done a stream on it before. McGinn brought him straight back down to earth and said he's a bit of a maverick. He's got some stuff he needs to sort out on the pitch. And when your captain's saying that, yeah. So if he does go to West Ham, as you guys are saying, a Diego Carlos, a John McGinn will come in and make sure he knows. I could even see Mingzi begging the gaffer, Unai, please, I may not be fit, but get me on the pitch for 5 minutes just so I can let Jhon Duran know. You know, one of our legends of the club at the moment. But Royce has said, any updates on Hermoso? That one's gone very quiet. I don't know where we're getting with that one. The only thing that someone's found, and I love that. Do you know what? I absolutely love the depth that people go into to read stuff. Apparently, not apparently, I've seen the photo, the screenshot. Hermoso on Instagram liked the Aston Villa kit launch. If you want to take that with a pinch of salt, then probably do, because that's what I did. But yeah, well, it's really fascinating what social media likes and posts can do. But yeah, Hermoso apparently, why do I keep saying apparently when I've seen it with my own eyes? On X, someone put the picture up that Hermoso had liked the Aston Villa kit launch. So there we go. But yeah, big up to Glenn in the house as well. Hope you're all good. Hope you legends are all good. But yeah, the João Felix deal, we won't talk about that too much today, but all I can say is 48 hours ago, it seemed like it was off, that we can't really afford the finances. All of a sudden, the deal's back on because apparently we are Roy Keane for him. Look, that one's going to be fascinating. That one's going all the way to the wire, João Felix. That's going to the last week, I reckon. I reckon that's going deep into preseason. Keita said Duran is absolutely toxic, needs to be getting rid of. Absolutely. You know it, Paul. He is a bit of a crybaby, isn't he? Royce says, also, didn't we bid 30 million for the Turkish lad? Look, there is some rumours going around there, but I think Bournemouth are about to snap up a player that Villa were linked to, the centre-half. Again, I did a stream on him last week. I forgot his name. But again, yeah, he's been snapped up. But yeah, let's see what you guys are saying then about the next phase that yeah, let's see what the next phase is, which is this player that I want to talk about next. So yeah, Danny Ings is not Premier League class. I think he's going to go to Southampton, actually, Kate. A professional footballer should be putting the game ahead of his social accounts 100%. You've got to just be quiet. Mason probably a Sabbath fan. That is true. By the way, the absolute amazing kit launch video, as I said, was unreal, wasn't it? Yes, Chelsea and James McLean has rattled the whole Chelsea fan base. Absolutely. This is the interesting one. Yeah, Albert, trialist C or D. I can't remember which one he was in the preseason friendly, but Albert getting his deal at Walsall, very happy for him. But yeah, João could be sorted out by Unai. I agree on that. Quick one, actually, before we go on to the next player. I want to just show you these amazing comments I read about Onana. It gave me goosebumps. This was Goosebump City for me about what Onana said. Again, the Onana interview is really, really fascinating. But this is my favourite quote I have seen in an interview for a long time. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but I want to quickly show you this before we go on to Adeyemi. So look, there's a bit of an interview about the environment of Aston Villa, how well we're doing, and we've got Champions League. He says Unai is one of the most skilled coaches, but have a look at this in this interview. And says, Onana says, we talked and discussed things. This is him and Unai Emery. What came out was that he wants to teach me certain things, that we have the same vision of the game and of the player I could become. He pointed out my qualities, but also my flaws that I still need to work on. I completely agreed with his analysis. Now, this is a genius quote. This is absolutely something I'm living and breathing for. behind the scenes sort of view of how a transfer happens between a manager and player and when they sit down and have their talk. And what I love is that Unai isn't just buttering up Onana saying, come to Aston Villa, you're amazing, you're doing this. He's actually going, Onana, Amadou, listen, you're good at this. You're very good at this. I see the big picture of where you want to be. But by the way, you're not very good at doing this. You need to improve on this area. And overall, we need to tidy that up. And guess what? I can get that for you, and I'll make you one of the best powerhouses in the Premier League. That quote from Amadou Onana really sent goosebumps down my sort of spine, because it was like, okay, our gaffer is genuinely, when people ever doubt, can Villa get top four? Can Villa ever do this again? Can Villa do that? My answer now is always this. We have the best coach in the Premier League now. Alongside Pep Guardiola, I think we have one of the best tacticians, coaches, and developers of players. And Onana, for me, has proven that Unai doesn't just accept the play and go, you're really good, come play for us, we'll do this and this around you. He's going, no, you're good, but I need you to be better at this, I need you to be better at that, I need you to be better at that. And that is why I will stand here, and I will all season, and I'll keep saying, as long as we've got Unai, as long as Unai's got that fire, we will be a powerhouse, just like Onana's going to be this season. But yeah, big up to everyone. Glenn, I did see that in the Olympics. The biggest farce of all farces, a 2-hour VAR delay, should we say, because of the crowd trouble. But yeah, we go. And Michael said that the same tactic we used with Morgan Rogers. I think players in this day and age love a bit of honesty. Love a bit of honesty. Don't want to be told. How many times have been told? How many agents have been on the phone? How many clubs have gone, we'll do this, this, and this for you. You're going to be the captain. You're going to be the star boy. You're going to be this. And it all sort of dies off. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes players actually really do respect honesty. Right. So this one here, then. This one here. I think this one is not going to come into fruition. I think this one is going to die instantly. So it was reported at 11:22 a.m. I'm going to share this to the stage now. Aston Villa are monitoring the relevance from Karim Adeyemi. Now, again, where's this one come from? Well, the reason is because Chelsea were initially interested in him, and there was some link and rumour to him. But as I said, Karim Adeyemi, who is he? We'll go to him in a minute. Of course, a young prospect, again, 22 years old, plays for Borussia Dortmund, Champions League experience, played in the Bundesliga. It sounds good. But then all of a sudden, it looks like Thiago Motta's Juve is actually going to be the favourites. And I think this one's developed even more recently because if I share this to a screen now, I don't know how Juve are getting this pool, but it says here, understand Juventus has made direct contact with Karim Adeyemi's camp today. Talks were started on player side after interest revealed in June. Juve have presented contract proposals to Adeyemi. No club-to-club talks with Borussia Dortmund yet. So, look, Karim Adeyemi, another one we'll get into in a second. We'll have a look at his profile. But it does seem Juve have got a pool. Now, I'm going to ask people quickly in the chat, and I'll come to a lot of your comments. Juve, what makes Juve an attractive prospect? I actually sort of saw Juve as a bit of a dying fodder, a bit of a backward step. They're not really challenging in the Serie A of late. They, Allegri finished second, got sacked. They've gone in the shadows of the Milano as such. I don't know, Juve to me isn't like the gung-ho giant they were. But yeah, listen, it does look like that Juve are going to bid for Adeyemi as well, and it might start a bidding war, and we'll see how much he comes in for. But yeah, what is going on with Juve? Where is their pool? We'll have to see. But yeah, I did love that one, Glenn. I absolutely did. But yeah, love this. Who else thinks that we are shaping up to be the main challenge to City? Look, at the end of the day, I think the biggest thing for me right now, Andy, is that we show that we can go back-to-back Champions League. I'll say it again, and I might have said this again recently, but I've got a lot of friends who've turned around and said to me, Josh, if Aston Villa get in the top four again, I'm taking serious note of you. This is Liverpool fans. This is Manchester United fans. They're going to me, Josh, will actually take serious note because no team has ever gone on and done back-to-back top fours outside of the sky-greedy top six, whatever you want to call them. You look at it now, when you think about it, when Leicester City won the Premier League, they never retained top four. Newcastle last season, prime example, never retained top four. I would even try and argue that Spurs have found it a challenge to retain top four. Retaining top four is one of the hardest things. And I think if Aston Villa can go and retain top four again, we have laid down the gauntlet and said, everyone else who's doubting us, open your eyes. Open your eyes. David Hammond said we should have accepted the West Ham offer. The young lad is perfect. He's highly rated and definitely one for the future. Duran is done at Villa as things stand. Absolutely, David. We'll see if Lewis Orford ever does come to us. I think that one's going to die. I think Villa just want the cash now. Gary said something to YouTube. United has just finished an 8 idiot. Absolute idiot. Look, Jason, I've already said this. Morgan Rogers will be young player of the Premier League season, not just Aston Villa, of the season itself. Last bit on Duran before we go back to Adeyemi. He says, why not send Duran out on loan then? Get him some good experience, score a ton of goals, and then we capitalise and increase value. Also agree on that one, by the way. Good thought of that. Big up to Dono Dino. He said, I think Felix comes, but on loan, no more signings. Well, I think that Felix is not allowed to leave on loan. I think Felix has to leave permanently unless there is no suitors. And basically, on the last week, Atletico Madrid go, do you know what? We have to just loan him out. We don't want him here. So that's the only way I could see João Felix going on loan. If it comes to crunch time at the end of the window, still no suitors, they let him go on loan. But I do think we'll have more signings on that one. But there we go. Big up to that legend that is Andy Bergen. Big up to you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. So I really do appreciate everyone's support tonight on the channel. Really do. Look, Adeyemi then. Let's go to his profile. As I said, though, Fabrizio has confirmed that Juve are front runners for Karim Adeyemi. We're monitoring it. Why would we be monitoring Adeyemi, you say? Well, I've gone to these conclusions again. He absolutely fits the Aston Villa mould. He fits the way in which we are going about business. He's 22 years old, German international. Not quite broken into the German first team, but he is someone who can play a multiple of positions. He can play on the left wing or down the middle as a centre forward. And then you go, but Josh, we're absolutely stacked in left wing. We've got Jacob Rod. I always do that. We've always got Jacob Ramsey and we've got Morgan Rogers. We don't need any left sides, especially we've got Illing Jr. as well. Well, what is his strengths? What is his strengths? Let's have a look then at his strengths and what he can bring to us. Because actually, for me, it's a player that we would want to know how much of an impact has he had at in the Bundesliga. I'm just going to go to the full statistics here because what we want to know is, have we got a player that is someone who's just been warming the bench of Borussia Dortmund? Is he someone who's actually come in and made an impact, or really is he someone who Dortmund have thoroughly relied on? Because again, I'm looking at a player, if you're not getting in the Dortmund side, then why is Aston Villa the club for you? And it goes back to my point about Juve. Why is Juve front runners more attractive proposition? I love this comment. Karim doesn't always rise to the top, especially if he goes to Juve. It's just a weird move. Juve is so weird. Adeyemi, very similar to Javi, would have the same strength and size problems Musa struggled with. He doesn't go to Juve. Good player, but not sure. So that was my vibe. It was very much I don't really know about this one. I really don't know about this one. And I think if Juve are interested, then I'm letting him go there. You're obviously not that high of a profile player of what we'd be looking for. But big up to Aviation. Big up to Vamos Video. Vamos. Dropping the hype as always. Thank you so much. He's bringing the transfer news for us. Juve with Motta at the helm is more attractive in previous seasons. The lure of the old lady is a big pull in Italy. It is one of those, isn't it? That you hear the name Juve and you do think one of the biggest clubs in Italy. But it's not the Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich pulling of Europe. But I get it. So yeah, listen, Karim for me won't be coming to Aston Villa. I think we're monitoring it. What I mean by monitoring is, let's see how much he goes for. Let's see how much Juve come into that. Although, how Villa would it be that we sort of have built this amazing relationship with Juventus, with Douglas Luiz, Illing Jr., Enzo Barrenechea, and then we go, pull the rug out under your feet. We're stealing one of your players you want. Listen, Well, let's see it. Felix was only on £6,000 at Barca, wanted to go, so took a massive pay cut. I think we'll be back again. Probably, what are we on now? What is it, Thursday? I reckon come Monday there'll be more developments on João Felix. Big news. I think we'll know where we are. What I've last heard is that Monchi's back with his teeth into this one. Villa have got to work out the finances, and I'll say this again. And it goes back to the start of this video. If we can sell Jhon Duran for 40 million, I think it's going to go towards a player like a João Felix quality. But thoughts on Jonathan David and why no clubs have signed him? Right. I'll be brutally honest. A lot of people talk about Jonathan David and they hear his name, but no one's ever watched him play for club. People have only ever watched Jonathan David when he's probably played for Canada on the major tournaments, on the big screens, and he's absolutely stunk the place out. Jonathan David in an international shirt doesn't do that well. So no one really looks at Lille and basically goes, oh, yeah. Now, we've obviously had the pleasure of playing Lille over a two-legged tie. Does anyone remember Jonathan David doing much against Aston Villa? So it comes back to that. Jonathan David didn't really do much against us over 2 legs. No one's really watched Jonathan David. And I think he's one of those names that maybe he's a bit of a con. But yeah, Monty wants to do that. But yeah, Jonathan David, side job as a drone pilot, I've heard. Does anyone actually want a little bit of Jonathan David? Do let me know. Would you be keen for Jonathan David? I don't think he's someone I would want us to go for. I think this is where it's going to get exciting for us Villa fans. And big up to everyone in the chat. Dennis Farrell is in the house. He says Duran at this rate could end up listen, Duran at this rate could be playing, having his own changing room somewhere at Bodymore Heath with his own locker, like Jadon Sancho, being absolutely exiled. And we're going to have to wait till January to get rid of him and send him somewhere. Because at the end of the day, I really hope West Ham, in the nicest way, I hope West Ham take him off our hands. I'm also a little bit worried that Duran goes and has a 20-plus goal season. West Ham go boom it. They get a top 6 finish, and you're like, bloody hell, why did we sell Duran? It's one of those, but we have to trust our gut and instinct and probably have to get rid of him. But yeah, I think that Jonathan David, for me, is a player that I've only watched him a limited amount of times, and he stunk every time. So I don't know. But apparently, Jonathan David's agent on 10 million. This is the problem. I'm getting sick of agents, and I'm coming at Duran's agent. And I think the first time I took real note of agents and I thought, you are absolute arseholes, was Carney Chukwuemeka's. Carney Chukwuemeka's agent basically demanded that Carney was on £100,000 a week at Aston Villa at 18 years old after not really proving himself. And you're looking, and half this Villa squad at the time weren't anywhere near that level of money a week. And you're thinking, who the hell do you think you are? Gets in Carney's ears. Somehow a London club like Chelsea go, do you know what? Yeah, you're not going to cost us much. We'll pay you £100,000 a week or whatever it is. And he's got an absolutely stunk his career out for a season at Chelsea. And let's see how he does this year. So yeah, agents are starting to really rile me up. I don't know. But probably to conclude where I'm at, and thank you to everyone. We've hit 50 likes on this video. Big up to everyone. Make sure you smash in the like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Love all the comments and interactions. All summer long, we're going to bring these streams. I like to do these ones between 9 and 10:30, so any time in the night time. So if you don't want to miss these notifications, get that turned on as well. But we're going to be linked to strikers. Especially as soon as Duran goes. Don't think anyone here, and correct me if I'm wrong, but does anyone actually believe that we should give Cameron Archer a go? We have to be real here, Villa fans. Ollie Watkins is going to be our number one. If Ollie got injured, how much faith would you have in Cameron Archer securing us a top 4 finish? How much faith would you have in a Louis Barry securing us a top 4 finish? The answer for me probably is not going to happen, is it? So we have to go and sign a striker without a doubt, and I think we will. And I think the striker will be a name that will shock us, whether it's a surprise package or whether it's one of these big guns. But yeah. Right now, for me, I think that is our main position. After watching Costa Nedeljkovic in pre-season, I'm pretty chilled about right back. I was screaming saying we still need someone in there. We still need like a Frimpong. We still need someone on that other side. I'm really chilled about Costa Nedeljkovic and potentially the depth. So I think striker right now is our number one position that we need to go and upgrade him. And I think we will, especially when Duran goes. Yeah, we might have to keep Archer in the shadows. but I don't want to see him starting. Grealish to play behind Watkins in this team, unreal. Well, I think that's what the João Felix position is going to be. I genuinely think that we're signing Felix to play behind Watkins, and that could really cook. But there we go. Dom Solanke, I don't think will move at all. But yeah, this is the one. The striker thing is a guy from Basquitas. Already sent a bid for 30 mil from 18 years old. Now, funny you say that. I need to quickly check, but I'm pretty sure. That Bournemouth. I'm pretty sure that Bournemouth are going to sign him. Where is it? Where's the Bournemouth one? Quickly on Fabrizio's thing. I am sure Bournemouth have got the man that we were. Yes, this guy we were linked with. Maybe not, but it's another player. Remember, I said I did a stream on this one. I'll quickly share this now. We were linked at one stage to Dean Huijsen from Juve. I don't know if you remember that one, but he's going to go to Bournemouth. 15 million plus €3 million add-on. But yeah, I'm trying to see any of the comments. But yeah, he's the player who played at AS Roma, and he is a centre back, I believe. So yeah, this is a centre back, Dean Huijsen. I remember him now. So yeah, I think that Dean Huijsen, a centre half, has gone to AFC Bournemouth. So there we go. That was a player we linked with. So slowly, some of the rumours that we were linked with, they're getting narrowed down because other clubs are coming in. So there we go. But yeah, listen, we're going to wrap this one up. I've really enjoyed this tonight. The Duran. Duran's a really good talking point, isn't it? Duran's a really good talking point. I think that we could go on for days and days. And I think it's exciting as a Villa fan to see how the transfer market develops. As always, are we going to get João the Cat Felix? Who else is going to come out of the blue? And finally, are we going to get our priority signings? That's the big one for me. Are Monchi and Unai going to get the guys they actually really want? But look, I will be back again if there's any more breaking news or stories to tell. But likelihood is you will see me for the Aston Villa game against Colorado Rapids, which is going to be Sunday morning, aka Saturday night. It's 1 a.m. Columbus versus Aston Villa. Columbus versus Aston Villa. We're going to be starting at 1 a.m. So we'll probably be starting at 1:45 in the morning. Who's going to be with me? Let me know in the chat right now if you're going to come and watch that game with me. They'll watch along. Are you going to be watching Columbus Crew versus Aston Villa in the US preseason tour? But yeah, I know Luke. Obviously, Luke does watch-alongs in preseason, but you know me, guys. I'm doing watch-alongs all year round. So yeah, feel free to check out us. Or if you want to watch it on Luke's channel, of course, Up the Villa podcast will be doing one as well. Well, they're not called Up the Villa podcast anymore. But yeah, that's maybe what we should do, Michael. It's a dual stream, to be fair, maybe. I will ask him about that. But I'm going to be there, going to do my thing, going to enjoy it. Hopefully you guys will set your alarm as well and be with us. Yeah, it's not a bad time to be there. But yeah, I look forward to everyone who's going to be joining me for the Watch Along Villa TV. It's going to be awesome. I need to give my giveaway as well, which I need to actually do, and I'll get that out for the members tomorrow. And if you've missed that one, if you're a member of the channel and you want to have a Villa TV Plus subscription, I'm going to buy it for one of you lucky people. So there we go. But look, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to hope you're all well. Big up to Vamos VJ, to PC, to Andy, to Debbie, to Lukey, to Michael, to Connor, to David, to Aviation, to Gary H, and to Paul Welford, and to everyone else who's been in the stream today, listening in, tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And big shout out to Theo, our new member, to Vamos VJ, to Unai, and to Andy for the super chats. Guys, if I don't see you between now or the weekend, then make sure I see you for the watch along. And if you don't stay up that late, then I'll see you whenever I do. Big love, much love. See you all very soon. Up the bloody Villa. Goodbye. Good riddance, Duran. Ta-da.